You said what? Oh, there you go.
Let me set my mood back up for you. Set the mood back up. Hold on. Oh shit, it's fucking. Yeah.
Okay. So I just got a wait.
Girls on me, on the dance floor, all eyes on me. Party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP, all eyes on me. Yeah, where the girls are, this is how your night should be.
All right, all right. Welcome everybody to Gogo Talks, brought to you by GOGOTIX. I'm your host, as always, Malachi Johns. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Stomp's laptop is from 1987, so a little bit of trouble getting on there. But and my computer was reloading as well, or doing an update as well. So it was a very exciting time. So thank you everybody for joining. Stomp, can you hear me?
Yep, I sure do.
All right, buddy. If you're on Instagram, make sure you head over to youtube.com/GOGOTIX. You'll be able to see both sides of the conversation. You'll be able to see the one and only Larry Belafonte, who has painstakingly figured out his lighting situation so that his skin looks very smooth and luxurious for the ladies. So make sure you head over to youtube.com/GOGOTIX so you can see his ugly ass and not just my ugly ass. So welcome, sir. Thank you, Larry Stomp Dogg. Light Skin Stomp is what he has set his name up as, Light Skin Stomp. So just so you're aware, like if you listen to one of like the old Northeast Groovers joints and you hear 32 say light skin, he's not talking about Stomp, he's talking about me. So just so we can clarify that, since you're trying to steal my name and shit. But it's all good. How you doing today, man? You good?
Man, I'm doing great. Always.
Where are you joining us from today?
Man, I'm in the A. I'm in the A. ATL, baby. I'm here. I'm in ATL. Y'all know what it is. Yes.
All right.
Town.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, so we're gonna get into a little bit later. We're gonna get into the reason why you are there. But let's start off with a history of your time. What's up, Daryl Jones? Big supporter. Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate you. Let's start with Yeah, let's start with how you got started in music and in go-go in general, and then we can go through the many names that you have had throughout the years as well, as you tell your story. So what's up, Alfonso? So how'd you get started in music, man? What got you started playing it? Was the drums your first instrument, and how did you start playing?
I started at watching a guy at church. His name is Lance. Some people called him Foots. He played with Ed Raid back in the day. I started out just watching him up at church, and Ed drumming, and then one day
not to be confused with Foots from Rehearsal.
No. So that's what they called him after
Right.
like a while. They started calling him that. Not Foots from Rehearsal, but they called him Little Foots or whatever the case was. But I knew him as San Lance, so that's what they called him back up in the actual era, the earlier era days. So one day he didn't show up to a service about West Virginia, and my pastor, he like loved the kids, so he was like, "Let them play, let them try." They was like, "Him?" So they let me play, and after that, I started playing every other Sunday. I was playing up at church. That's how I started playing drums. In the band, I started playing in my
hold on. You gotta slow down a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
So the dude that was playing for Air Raid was playing at your church, and he couldn't make a show. And first of all, you're all the way in West Virginia, and you never played the drums before, and they just let you get up
in my life. They was like, "Let him try."
And you just randomly.
I got the picture of me playing because I got the robe on because I was in the choir. I was really in the choir. So I was there to sing. So our choir had went out to West Virginia to go sing. And he didn't show up. So my pastor, he liked music. He liked a certain feel. So he was like, let him try. And they let me try.
So, okay, this seems normal to you, I guess. But this is a sort of a strange situation. First of all, the first thing I should say is you messed up your lighting situation because now your face is in shadow. So, sit the way you were sitting before because it looked good.
Then it was daytime. It's dark here.
Oh, man.
So I tried to turn all my lights on up inside the room, try to give it a different feel.
Okay, well, most of the people on here know what you look like, know that you're ugly anyway, so it's okay.
I'm sexy.
So okay, I just want to reestablish this. Okay, so there's a reasonable expectation that church musicians are playing at a certain level of proficiency. That's just something that we all understand, having come from music, right? So you're not just gonna get up there and just play like you never played before, but generally speaking. But what you're telling me is that you were in the choir. The drummer didn't show up. The drummer was already playing for one of the premier go-go bands in DC. You having never picked up drumsticks ever in your life just happened. And first of all, was it set up right-handed or left-handed? Because you're a left-handed drummer.
I've been playing right-handed. So all through my church career, before I started playing my own, I had to play open.
Okay, wait a minute, because I want to finish this story. So you're telling me that you got up to fill in for a dude that was already playing in a poppin' ass go-go band. You played the opposite way from what you really play, and you did it so well that you just kept playing. That they just
got the picture to prove it. Look, I got the picture to prove it.
That's fucking amazing.
And look, it's so crazy because nobody in my family is musically inclined. Nobody. My mother, my father, nobody plays instruments. Nobody. Like, I'm the only one.
Wow.
I'm the only one.
Super nuts. Yeah, that's amazing. But that's also sort of giving me some some insight as well, because part of the reason for this show is to most of the reason for this show. What's up, DJ Noise? Chuck and Drew. One of the reasons for this show is to try to connect the dots between the stories that we have told throughout the time of go-go and the understanding that we have about how the music industry works versus how it works in go-go, because it's not the same.
Hell no.
We try to apply how things work in go-go to trying to make it work in the greater music industry, and it generally doesn't work. And so I've been learning some things throughout doing this, that there are some things that have happened that have led people to believe that all you have to do is crank, and somebody will just pop out of the sky and find you and make you successful. And there's a reason why those stories have been told, i.e., which I've mentioned before, I won't go too deep into, but the story of EU and the story of Junkyard, as they were discovered by Spike Lee and Rick Rubin, respectively, which is literally like lightning striking somebody when it comes to the way things work in the music industry. Yep. But that gave me a lot of insight into why people think that that's what's supposed to happen, because you got two of the biggest bands to ever have an imprint, an impact in go-go, and that's how it happened for them. So as for go-go, that's a large percentage of our successful bands that basically just had lightning strike them, which doesn't happen in the rest of the music industry. And now you're telling me that you, as a person who never picked up drumsticks, just jumped in for an established drummer and were so good playing the opposite way than you normally play that you just kept going from there, which is also a lightning strikes moment. So I don't know. Maybe go-go is just more magical than I even knew it was. So who knows? But we aren't even on the go-go yet. So all right. So go ahead. So you picked up.
So I wound up playing.
The Holy Spirit came into you and started playing.
So how I figured out I supposed to play the other way. I was like, it didn't feel right to me. I'm like, I want to cross my hands too. So one day I was at church and I said, let me try something. And I just changed the drums around. And it felt extremely bad. I was like, oh, okay. So
how long had you been playing before that happened?
Probably like 3-4 months.
4 months. It wasn't that long. I got you.
Yeah, because I had to wait till I was at church by myself. Because they would always tell me I couldn't change the same drums around. So I had to wait till it wasn't nobody there. Then I changed. I wanted to see. So I just changed the drums around. And
we're getting a lot of requests from the audience for you to show the picture of you in the choir robe.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, I keep that on deck, baby. I keep that on deck.
No, you also you can put it up on the screen too. Not even from your phone. If you got it on your computer, you can just do it.
I don't have it on my computer. I gotta figure out how to upload it. But I did get this junk. Matter of fact, there's somebody somebody from my church posted it and was like, "This is where it all started." Larry
don't do it on the computer because your laptop's from 1994. So yeah, don't do that. So yeah, show us on your phone.
Yeah. So for me, that was probably one of the most being able to play drums at church was everything, and I was getting paid for it too.
So this is another key point. So you started getting paid from the very first time you played drums.
No, so how my church worked, they had this thing. It was called Pass the Parish, and what they do is you have to go in front of the board, and they give you some questions, ask you some questions. So because I was young, my mom had to go in with me, and she kind of struck the deal. So I was getting $75 a Sunday, and I was getting $25 per choir rehearsal.
Wow.
I loved it. So with my money, what I was doing was I was buying sticks and stuff, buying sticks and heads and stuff like that was my money. So it was
this is another thing, because typically musicians don't get paid for playing for a very long time, and also again, this is I think this is really important, because the context of coming from, not that I'm ascribing this to you, because you understand, you get it, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of musicians come into this getting paid from the very beginning, getting paid to play in church, which church is a different situation than a club. A club is a different situation than a casino. A casino is a different situation than a venue. You know what I'm saying? A bigger venue is a different situation than an arena, whatever. And so church, you're getting paid to play the music. That's what you're doing. And if you're in a wedding band, you're getting paid to play the music. But when you're playing in a club, and people are paying to come see you, you're not just getting paid to play the music. You're getting paid to sell the tickets. You're getting paid for, and when I don't mean you physically selling the tickets, but I mean for people pay, people are paying money to come see you play. So if nobody pays money to come see you play, then you're not getting paid to play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's a really important thing that I don't think that a lot of people understand the difference. Like a lot of musicians in go-go just think I played my instrument, give me my envelope, not understanding that there's different levels to what you're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's you're either a hired gun or you're an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right here.
Different situation.
Right here.
I don't get too deep.
Right
hey, do it this way a little bit. Put it this way a little bit. There you go. Yeah, because it's got the teacher. All right, there we go. There's Stomp. There's Stomp Dogg's very first day playing drums in his choir boy uniform. I wonder if when you were a choir boy, if the church knew how much of a heathen you were going to turn into later in your life.
Yeah, no. So I would say this honestly, like that experience for me was just different because I never knew that playing drums would do what it have done for me over the years. Like you couldn't tell the things I've done playing with all these different national artists, to be sitting in the room with national artists, to be in the studio with national artists, to be helping produce records for them. Like you couldn't tell me that this would happen to a little kid from Southeast. Like,
so how old were you when this happened?
When so from my church?
Yeah, like the picture you just showed us. How old were you?
I think this picture I was probably like 6 or 7, probably. I think like 6 or 7.
And then from there, you knew that you liked it. So 3 or 4 months in, you realized you were left-handed, and you started playing the other way around. Yeah. Did you already know you were left-handed? Like, were you writing left-handed?
I did. Yeah. I always wrote left, but I never knew anything about the drums. I didn't know. I just sit behind them every Sunday, and I would just like air drum every Sunday. That's all I did every Sunday for years. I would just air drum. I was just like an air drummer.
So that's why they pulled you up, because they figured you already sort of knew what you were doing, because they saw you.
I would sit and mimic him every Sunday. Everything he did, I like memorized the songs. I memorized everything he did every Sunday, because like certain songs my church sung every Sunday. So I would mimic everything he do. At the same time he cried, I would just watch him and learn, and then mimic everything he did behind him and drumming. So, but when I was there at that school, so my mother sat in like the main sanctuary with the same old folks. So she would sit on the other side of the church. So all I could do was hear the drums. I couldn't sing. That was my actual punishment. I had to sit by mama at church. I couldn't sit beside the drums.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I'd be so mad. Ooh, I was like, I can't stand. All right,
so we have an important question from the audience, because obviously you are most known for playing with Northeast Groovers. So Alfonso, who's a regular watcher, wants to know, what part of Southeast are you from?
Willow Road and Mississippi Avenue is where I've been at for years. I got a little money and I got out. Say that. but for real, I still rising through. I still pop through every now and again. One thing I always told myself, no matter how far the music take me, no matter how much money I make, I will always show Southeast love. A lot of guys can't ride through the hood with their chains on and nothing happened to them. Like, I'm probably one of the few, because I never changed up on them. Even when Northeast was at their hottest point, I would go through the hood, I'd buy wings and liquor. We sit out in the corner, talk, chat, because I was still that guy. I was still cool with everybody in the hood. So I never changed up on the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, that's what's up. So, okay, so 6 or 7, you playing the drums. 3 months in, you find out you're left-handed, and then you obviously keep playing drums. When does Gogo come into the picture, or was there anything between church and Gogo?
So my mama told me I was only going to play for the Jesus Band. I wasn't playing for nobody's band but the Jesus band. That's what my mama told me. She said, just like that. The only band you playing for is the Jesus. I was like, Mom. Because so what happened is the side-by-side band would come to our school. If y'all not from DC, you don't know what the side-by-side band is. It's a band full of cops that's going to play Gogo. So that was our, so back then I couldn't go to the Gogo. So that was our Gogo at school. They would come, but you had to be good at school in order to go. So for that whole week, I'm on my best behavior to make sure I can go see the side-by-side band. Right. So when I seen the side-by-side band, I'm like, okay. Then my older cousin Avery over his house, he had the VHS tape of Gogo Live 1. Mm-hmm. I watched that joint. Every time I went over there, I would watch that joint. And Juju, like when I seen him, I was like, that's who I want to be. And back then, when I moved to Stand Hill, like some years later on, I had called myself, well, they was calling me Little Juju because I was trying to be like Juju.
Right.
So one day, my cousin took me to St. Anacostia Park. EU was there. Oh my goodness. Like that view of Juju, EU was just like, wow. Malcolm, matter of fact, it was Anacostia Park, Malcolm X Day. They don't have those anymore. But that was like my introduction to Gogo. And then I had met Rocket Rob. And then I started playing in a band with Sam Rocket Rob.
What was that band called?
It was called Raw Sincerity.
Raw Sincerity. Okay.
Yeah. Then when I stopped playing with Rocket Rob and them, I joined another band in my neighborhood. It was called Southeast Finest.
Well, why did you stop playing with the first band?
Because Rocket Rob and them had too much stuff going on, man. It's like at that time, I just wanted to play drums. I didn't want to fight and all that stuff. They was always doing some wild stuff in the hood. And I just wasn't.
Rob was an angry guy. Yeah, no.
I wasn't there for that. I wasn't there for that. I mean, I still love him. I still had love for him, but it was just I found something a little bit more. So the guys I was playing with at that time was like say 20-something years old when I joined Southeast Finest. All of them was saying grown guys. So I remember when I got in trouble, because during this time I was still like going out of the house sneaking to go play. So I had gave my band the stuff the night before. I was like, what time we gonna play? Because I'm gonna get out of the house when it's time to play. So I told my mother, I said, Mom, I'm about to walk to the store, but I'm gonna go the other way because I just feel like walking. The other way was the long way. So I'm walking, I know time we playing. I'm looking at the clock, I'm going now. I get out there, I'm already set up, ready to play. I'm playing, we out there cranking outside. I look to the right, my mother on the right looking at me. Dog, I'm like, she about to kill me. So I cranked so hard because I knew I was gonna be in the house for a while. But when I got done, she was like, I knew you could play, but I didn't know you was that good. What the heck you doing playing with all these grown men? What my son doing playing with y'all? Because she was amazed, like these grown men got this little kid playing drums.
Yeah.
So
this was the band after Rocket Rob.
Southeast Finest.
Southeast Finest. So
the Congo player, he played with the band that be doing the Redskins stuff all the time. He playing outside the Redskins Stadium.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played Congo for that band now.
Gotcha.
So
Alfonso Rocket Rob from the what band? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then after I left Southeast Finest, I started playing with a band called Raw Connection. So Buggy played with Sam Raw Connection, and Lil James played with Sam. So that's how I met Lil James and Sam Buggy. But my story of Buggy was Lucky was telling Danny from the barbershop, man, I got this little St. Youngin in my hood, Lil St. Larry. You know what I'm saying? We be saying call him, you know what I'm saying, Crooked Foot. Because back then they said call me Crooked Foot because I walk bow-legged. They call me Crooked Foot.
Oh, I got you.
So
real quick, Stomp, before we go on, I want to make sure you understand that a lot of people watching now know who all these people are we're talking about, but other people are going to watch this later who aren't from Gogo don't know who any of these people are, so just make sure you explain who you're talking about.
So Buggy is from the Backyard Band.
Yep.
And Lil James played for Publicity back in the day. He's now playing for Subtle Squad. I'm sorry. He's now playing for Let It Flow.
Yep.
Now. So they had both Buggy to my house to battle me. It's supposed to have been a battle for some money. So, look, Bug came through and he set up my drum. My drum was in my mother's dining room. Bug set up my drum, Joe, and played, and I was like,
wait, left-handed or right-handed?
No, he changed them around. So he played, right? I'm like, I'm supposed to be battling him. In my head, I'm like, this the guy I bought the top. Man, Buggy was doing some tricky stuff. I was like, he said, go ahead, Shorty, play. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I wound up sitting down. And for me, back then, the hottest thing any drummer could do is that heavy one triple.
Yep.
So I got on drum. I said, if anybody here know Buggy, ask him, he gonna tell you the exact same story. He was like, he looked around and said, Shorty gonna be a problem. Shorty gonna be a problem. Then fast forward when I started playing with saying young groovers. Hold
on, you're going too fast. Hold on, you're going too fast because we got to get the whole story. So I just want to shout out real quick the Blend Show. I'm not sure if that's Nika or that's we got Blue Eye on here now too. I don't know if the Blend Show is Nika or E or who it is, but what's up? Thank you everybody for joining in. So all right. So you did the heavy one triple, and Buggy was impressed. And then at this time, you're still playing with Southeast Finest. That was
at this time I was playing with Raw Connection.
Raw Connection, my bad. That's right. You say that. Okay. And then from Raw Connection, that was straight to Young.
So I went to so Fat Erky and Petey was hanging with my cousin Avery. They all ran the streets together.
So Fat Erky's singer, and who was Fat?
And then Petey the Congo player. So Fat Erky was known for playing for saying Ultimate Groove back in the day. Then he started playing for saying young groovers. Petey played for like Hot Cold Sweat, Ultimate Groove, Junkyard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was this before or after, or before he played for Junkyard, or around?
This was like saying after, some years after.
Right.
So how I got the St. Young Groovers gig, Blue Eye was going to Essex. He was leaving young Groovers.
He's on here. He's watching. Blue Eyes watching.
That's how I got the gig.
Gotcha.
And I remember seeing Blue outside of Charlie's because matter of fact, they was having trials. Essex was having trials for saying drummers. Blue Eye had already had the job, but they were still trying our drummers or saying whatever. So I remember seeing Blue outside. And if y'all follow me on Facebook, every time I post something about royalties, I always say Blue Eye Daryl name. Because I got on Blue Eye Daryl last freaking nerves. I know I did. It's probably time he probably wanted to shoot me, fight me, smack me. But he taught me something. And I'm like, he's always say, Shorty, I ain't got time to battle, Shorty. It's all about royalties, Shorty. I'm like, nigga, F them royalties. I'm trying to battle. That's because back then, back then, I was like on 50 Cent. I started trouble with everybody.
Right.
Because I just want to battle everybody. I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? But Blue Eye made me understand and go back and study and learn about royalties, what it means to do records and get royalties, understand the business. And Blue always drilled that in my head. So now when I see me getting checks from things I did back in the 90s with saying Northeast, stuff I did with saying Raw Image, stuff I did with the saying Mix. When I see them checks come in, like it's just like Blue Eye. Soon the check come, I be like Blue Eye. I always say because I respect him because back then I didn't know that he was just pouring knowledge into me. He was trying to help me to understand the business, understand what it was really about. It ain't about battling. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you saying you old can't do nothing. You still want them checks sliding up in there. So that was my introduction with Sam Blue and Young Groovers.
Gotcha.
So I stayed with Young Groovers. which was the Pom Pog band back then. I stayed with them to like 96. Mm-hmm. And Rapper would come to our show all the time and watch us play. And he would say, "You a bad MF, Charlie," and just walk off.
You can cuss on here.
I'm like, all right, thank you. So then one time we had played with Northeast up at the Oof Club. Doug was there early. Smoke was there early. Now the whole band was there early. We started playing. Bill seen him watching me. Man, he went to this groove and held this beat for a long time. I'm just digging. I'm back then. I was all about we got a thing. It's called the Southeast Hump. When you just like digging. Man, I played so hard because I was a Northeast Groovers fan. So I'm like, oh, they watching me. And Bill seen it. And Bill closed that hi-hat and let Mincy and PD work. Whew. I think that's how I kind of semi got the call to come try out for St. Groovers. So
hold up, stop for a second because somebody asked a good question. Ricky Angles from Hucklebucks and XO Band asked a good question. Did you try out for all of these bands you played with, or did they just say you coming to play with us?
Only band I tried out for was Northeast, and they didn't get me. They had 2 drummers before they got me. They had Coco and Trig.
Trig, that's right.
Before me. So, and it's funny because I was up at the phone booth at the Metro Club at a Northeast show up on a Wednesday. I'm on the phone talking to her. I hung the phone up. Doug walked up. He said, "Shorty, you want to come play these drums?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" He said, "Beat me tomorrow, Shorty." So I paged Doug the next day.
You beat them.
Yeah, he told me beat me. He said, "Yeah, beat me, Shorty," and gave me his number. So I want to beat him. Call me back. He said, "Look, Shorty, I'm gonna try to get you up in practice too, Shorty. Just like give me like say a couple days because this nigga he gotta go." I was like, all right. Doug called me back. I went to practice on a Tuesday, Evans Prayer House, 44th and Eads. The basement flooded, so we couldn't practice. So
wait a minute. Stop for a second because I had Kyrie on here, I had Jeff on here, I had 32 on here, and all of them said that it didn't matter if the basement was flooded. Y'all was still practicing. So by this time,
not this day. This day.
Okay.
Not this day. This day we didn't practice. So when we sitting up in Miss living room, so they kept saying, "You sure you got it, Shorty?" I was like, "I'm good." So matter of fact, Duke said, "Man, I think he gonna be all right." Rob was like, "I don't know." Doug said, "Man, let's let Shorty go, man. Shorty good." So we went to the show and we cranked 9/18/96. We went through the
wait a minute, because I want to make sure, again, some people that watch this later may not know who all these people are. So Doug is Dig Doug, the percussion, the timbali player, rotom player. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on there. And then who else did you say?
32.
Rapper is the lead talker, the lead talker for Northeast Groovers as well. So just in case anybody didn't follow all that, because obviously we're talking about people that we know, but not everybody might know who they are. So anyway, okay, so Deuce 32, you said you're gonna be all right. And this was 96. And what was the first date of the show you played again?
9/18/96.
So that was your first show. So what did you understand about why you were replacing Jeff? Why did they
said Jeff was going to go do church. He was going to, which you know what I'm saying? He did do that. He did do that.
Praise and
he went to go do church.
When I had him on the interview and somebody was like, "Well, damn, Jam and Jeff invented gospel go-go." Like we didn't really think about that. But yeah, that's right. You did say so, Jeff. So there was Trig, and who was the other guy? Coco. That's right. I was thinking Pooh in my head. So
yeah,
how long
was first? He was first, and then Trig.
And how long did they play between Jeff
Coco
and you?
only lasted probably like 2 weeks, I think it was, if that. I think Trig lasted probably a month or two, and then I came in.
Gotcha. Okay, so it wasn't that long. I got you. All right. So that was 96. and then in the end of 1999, your life changed because this amazing ginger, pale guitar player came into the picture and changed everything around, right?
Now I will say, other than Joe Die, you were the best lead player that we had. Because it's like, it's something about all No Fix Groove's lead players. Like, they don't be tuned up or they don't learn the material. It was just, man. And see, in Northeast, like Rapper, Deuce, 88, they were Joan, Doug, they were Joan, you know, like, and like, if you ain't had your stuff, you know, like, they would Joan on you, you know, like, it'd be bad, and like, you want to just cry, you know, like, but I will say though, when I first joined Northeast Grooves, I was gonna quit.
Why?
Joe, we fought every single night except for my first show. We fought I don't know what it was about Deuce and Rapper. Man, they was beat people up like, it was just like, but I'm young. This is my dream to play with Northeast Grooves. All I want to do would just play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But after a while, I kind of get it because they would like disrespect Deuce or disrespect Rapper. And once one go, everybody goes. I'm like, what are we doing? So one day, Maestro pulled me aside and said, "Look, Shorty, please don't say quit, Shorty. Like, I'm gonna say talk to Pearl and get it to St. Galvin." Which Pearl is No Fix Groove's manager. Miss Pratt is what everybody knows.
Kyrie's mother, yeah.
Yeah, that's saying Kyrie's mom. So when Mo pulled me inside, I said, "All right, Mo." I say, "All right, I'm cool. I'm not used to all this." It was, man, Northeast would beat your ass, boy. Like, and that's what I loved about Northeast Grooves, because you ain't fighting one of us. We gonna whoop your ass. So that was the beauty of being in Northeast, because, and I get it, because they ain't considered Northeast Groove as bammers, but we still the flies band to this day. We still got the fly looking band. So I'm gonna say that.
So real quick, Tom Newman, the Tom Newman Project said, "What about Pix?" He said Pix was a good guitar player also.
He was okay. Dorian was okay. He was okay.
Is that his real name? I never knew it was a real name. I just knew it was
when saying it was time to turn that same corner, it's like Northeast went to a different space. Mm-hmm. Like, we went to a different space. Like, after that show with St. Junkyard, 10/24/96 at the Stomp Dogg, we went to a different space, man. It was like the atmosphere was totally different. And
how so? What do you mean by that? You went to a different space, and what was different about the atmosphere?
Because that's when Junkyard was saying on fire, and we kicked Junkyard ass that night. Oh, we kicked their ass. Oh, we kicked their ass bad too. They know it too. They know it. That Stomp Dogg show, because all my friends was Junkyard fans. Like, man, Junk gonna beat y'all bad, dog. I was like, all right. And then we got, as a matter of fact, the first groove we came out, we didn't even practice that jump. Where I said, look, I want you to come out, give me the hit, bump, and then play the beat. I was like, all right. So they told me that at the show. We didn't even practice that. Gotcha. And that's still one of the hottest CDs or tapes that No Fix Groove was put out from back then to me.
Yep. Absolutely. Ricky Angle said we're not flyer than the Hucklebucks. Said Northeast, we're not flyer than the Hucklebucks. You said cuter, but I'm just gonna replace that word with flyer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I would say y'all was the first cute go-go boy band. Yes, y'all might have been that. y'all, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might have been that. I could give y'all that.
The first cute boy band.
Yeah, I could give y'all that.
That is fucking hilarious. So 96, you start playing with Northeast, and then what happens in what was it, 2000, 2001? What was your perspective on the sort of demise of.
I felt like,
or just the pause, I guess.
In 2000, when you give somebody that many years of your life and you stop your whole life, you don't go to family reunions, you don't go out of town, you don't miss anything. Like I felt like I lost my wife. That's how I felt. It felt like I lost everything because now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna pay my rent. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna take care of all these kids I made while I was in Northeast Groovers. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta figure out
for nothing. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I have to figure out how I'm going to survive when the band's saying we're not gonna do Northeast no more. We're gonna do solo. And I'm like,
hold on, wait a minute, because your ass was part of that. You wanted them free meatballs at the fucking buffet at the Grown and Sexy spots. So you were super.
No. By the time y'all did that, I was already gone.
No.
I ain't do Club U, y'all. I ain't do Club U with y'all.
I'm not talking about when we actually played Club U. I'm talking about when it was, who was the band? Touch of Essence and Soul Patrol. And I just remember you coming to the rehearsals like, yeah, man, I've been going to see, I think it was them bands. And you and Big Young, I think it was you and Big Young would go. And y'all would be like, man, they got buffets, they got food. And it's, like we're coming from playing at the Metro Club. You know what I'm saying? And I every week. Say what?
With those hurry wings are in the back.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't act like you didn't want to do solo shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I gave it a try because I thought it was something. So at that point, I thought the facelift was good because we had to realize we didn't have rapper no more and we didn't have Deuce. So now we got to figure out what's the best move to help continue to move the brand.
Right. And
that was the only way to get out of the shadow of those two because everything we had was those two. So it's hard to do that when you got Batman and Robin that had so many years of being together and creating so much stuff.
Right.
So that was a hard pill to swallow. But I would say for that right there, I think Coop, Stuffy, and Buggy, because Coop and Buggy called Stuffy to give me a job, and I went to the pawn shop.
Yep, I remember that.
Started working at the pawn shop, and that's when I started making enough money to be able to pay all my bills. But I didn't know what I was going to do, man. I was stuck. So yeah, that was a tough year for me, man. That was a real rough year for me because I didn't know what was going to happen after that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, now I want one out, and they was moving.
Yep.
Essence was sent back. You know what I'm saying? Semi-moving again. You know what I'm saying? Back y'all was starting the game a little bit of steam. Junk y'all was sent still, but they were still cranking. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Per Elegance had one of the hottest albums during that time. You know what I'm saying? They did all them songs was like.
I thought the Pure Elegance album was out before that.
No, it was out, but it was still they were still getting shows. They were still playing a lot.
Okay.
Then saying you still had Hucklebuck still moving. You know what I'm saying? It was bands that was moving. Still, but we like now we got to start all over again. So, but I mean, I would say that was a humbling experience for me. But I would say I was really hurt when Northeast Groove stopped. I was really hurt, man. That really took a lot from me. It took a lot from me because I never thought that I would see the day that Northeast Groove was just dismantled like that. It was just go away. I never in a million years would have thought because stuff was just so good. It was, man, everywhere I went, I had shoe hookups, hotel hookups, I had clothes hookups, man, I had baby clothes hookups, I had pamper hookups. Like I had because of Northeast Groove, I had a ton of hookups. Anywhere I went, it was just.
Yeah, I remember I had to get new tires on my car one time, and Doug, somebody that used to come see us play all the time, was like, "Yeah, come take." Doug introduced me, and I got the tires for like half price or some shit like that, just because I played for Northeast Groove. So yeah,
that's how it be sometimes. Right? Like I would tell everybody like one thing I did learn from saying Northeast Groovers. I learned how to just create what it meant to have band practice. Like when Ms. Pratt kicked us out of Charlie's and was like, I don't care where y'all practice at, I ain't paying for it no more. And she sent us over to 88 Shed, dog, with no heat, no air. It's wintertime. Man, we out there jump with space heaters.
When was this?
This hit was like 90, 98, I think. Yeah, 98. So I think that somebody, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Hug snitch. Because Kyrie told me after a while. Hug snitch. So Hug was mad. You know, we used to practice every Monday at Charlie's over St. Kirby Road. Yeah. So upstairs, he had this big TV with cable. So every Monday, we'd be in that jump, not practicing, we'd be in that jump watching wrestling. So Rapper would come with like either a box of wings or a box of liquor. And then Doug would do the opposite. So one day we come to practice. I'm like, oh, what's up, y'all? Walking the door. And Miss Pratt was sitting behind the door. She said, put your phone in the middle of the floor. So everybody came in, had put their phone in the middle, you couldn't call them and warn nobody. Robert came in with that box. Oh, let's get goop. Let's get. Oh, hey, Pearl. Put your phone on the floor and have a seat. Man,
I know the story of that.
No, she cussed us out bad.
I bet.
And left. But look, I should have knew something was up.
He's probably the most loving, scary ass person ever.
Look,
don't know.
I should have known because Kyrie was there and the band van was because normally Kyrie would drive the band van from Bowie out to Charlie's so we can use stuff to profit or whatever. I should have known, but I wasn't thinking nothing was up. Man, Mr. Pratt was in that junk, dog. Oh my goodness, John. Put us out of Charlie's. We got put out of Charlie's. We wound up practicing up and saying, but I say during that 88 Share days, a lot of cranking grooves came up.
So that was not, you said, so that was 98. So by the time I got there, y'all weren't rehearsing at all because I remember, because Rio, you know, I was in college in Montana and I was in the back and I used to talk to Rio all the time. He was a mentor of mine. And he was like, well, Northeast is looking for a new guitar player. And I was like, cool. So I called Pearl. He gave me Pearl's number and I called Pearl and I was like, do you want me to like send you examples of me playing or something? She was like, nah, you don't need to do that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm about to move back like next week or 2 weeks or whatever. And I was like, should I like come to rehearsal or something? She's like, nah, baby, we don't rehearse. Just come to the ice box. So my audition is in front of like 8 billion people in the ice box. I was petrified. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But and Kyrie was gritting on me the whole night, and I was like, "Oh man, he doesn't like it. I don't want, like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna get it." And then Doug, good old Doug was like, "Shorty, you was cranking, Shorty." He was like, "What's your name?" Oh no, wait, I gotta tell the story though.
Wait, go ahead.
Because when I walked up, you remember you had the steps on the side of the stage, so I was walking up the steps, and Rapper was at the top. He's like, "What's your name, Shorty?" I was like, "Malachi." He was like, "Can I just call you Reds?" Because he was like, I'm not trying to say that shit every night. So he started calling me Reds. And then afterwards, Doug was just like, man, Funky Reds, man, Dirty Reds. That's your name, huh? You Dirty Reds. Yeah. So that was my audition with Northeast Groovers. I got no rehearsal, no nothing. I just jumped up on stage and was scared out of my fucking mind.
I remember that show. Walking in the icebox. I was like, who fucking dude up on the stage? Doug was like, that's a new lead player, Shorty. We're gonna be all right. I was like, all right. See, so like back then, Doug was like the voice of reasoning. You know what I'm saying? It's like Doug was like over everything. Like he was like the voice of reasoning through everything. I don't care what was going on.
Yep.
Doug called me, and I hate when Doug called me because I'm like, "What's up, Doug?" And he talked like, "Yeah, what's up, man? Can you speak up?" He talked real low on the phone.
Cool.
You know ain't lying. You know.
That's why. That's funny. Yeah. And I really thought that Doug and Mo were real brothers for like the first probably 6 months I was in the band, because that was the legend that I heard. And somebody said it when I got there. And I really literally thought they were like blood brothers. You know what I'm saying? For like probably the first 6 months that I was in the band. Obviously they aren't, but and Mo, man, like Mo, I wish that I would have been in the band with Mo now, because at the time, Mo is literally like the most positive fucking person you've ever met in your life, to the point that it got on my goddamn nerves then. But now I'm out here in California with the palm trees and shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm positive, everything's great. So I think me and Mo would have probably been in the band right now. But he was one of my favorite people in the band for sure, definitely.
Yeah. It was so funny though, because it's like Maestro was like, for saying me, Maestro was like my person to talk to whenever something was going wrong.
Yeah.
Like anytime I had saying girl, so like back then, man, I was on girls hard. So like I was a slut bag. I was a slut bag.
They
and
call
like,
him, they don't call him to leave it in for no reason.
Man, listen to me. Maestro was, I would fall for girls like, because I was new to the game. So like as I watched I ain't gonna name my bandmates, but as I watched my other bandmates deal with girls, I was like, oh, that's what you gotta do. Got it. And like a lot of them would help me, but like at one point I was living with San Hug and Mo over up on the Real Turds.
Yep.
Me, my son, baby mother, and my son slept on Hug and the floor in their living room. So yeah, I ain't had nowhere to go, and they let me come on in. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't charged me a dime either. They ain't charged me a dime.
That's family. So okay, so we broke up we turned into solo in 2001, and then I left in, I don't remember if it was 2001 or 2002. I went to Vegas, and then I kind of sort of fell out of touch. So what happened between 2002? I mean, we would talk, but it wouldn't be like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like to me to really know what was going on. So what's up, Chief? What happened between 2002 and 2009? Is that when we got back together?
Yeah. I was playing. So well, people don't know this, but me and Robert started the What Band.
Yep.
After Robert left 911, he called me and was like, "What's up, Stomp?" I was like, "What's up, Robert? What's going on?" He's like, "Man, I'm tired of this shit, Stomp, man. I just want to do something different. Man, let's me you start." And I was like, "All right, cool." I said, "What's the name of the band gonna be?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "No, what's the name of the band gonna be?" He kept saying, "What?" I'm like, "No, Robert, he kept saying, what?" So I'm like, "No, Robert, what the name of the band gonna be?" And he was like, "The What Band, Stomp?" I was like, "Oh, got it." I said, "All right, man." I said, "Give me an hour. I had your whole band." I had a whole band in a whole hour, and we met that day up at the Sports and Learning Complex. That same day, we met the whole band, and then we practiced for like 4 to 6 months before we even came out the gate.
Yeah, because I feel like solo or some band that I was playing, maybe it wasn't solo, but I remember we played with the original What Band, which had you in it before.
Yeah, we had opened up for y'all.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, we came down to some club and opened up for y'all. It was like downtown somewhere.
Yeah.
Opened up for y'all.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah.
That. I just couldn't remember.
And they was throwing big shade at us too. They were throwing big shade at us. I don't know why, but they were throwing big shade at us.
Who was the crowd or us?
Nah, Solo was.
Oh, for real?
They were throwing big shade. It was cool. I mean, I want you to know that, but it was cool. But
who? It wasn't me. I didn't never throw shade.
No, it wasn't you. But we was getting like a lot of hate. But it was cool. It was cool. I mean, it's life. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, I left What Band and I went to Raw Image.
Why did you leave What Band?
So management. So Robert brought somebody in to actually run the band.
Mm-hmm.
And management knew that I had a lot of control over the band members. Like I was more hands-on, so they would listen to me.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to tell him a bogus story about some money. And that's not my, you know what I'm saying? That's not my, you know what I'm saying? That's not my MO. I couldn't do that. I'm not gonna never play with nobody money. I don't roll like that. So I opted out. I just said, you know what, this ain't the band for me. And me and Sam Robert, we had to talk, and he understood my same position.
Right.
And he was like, oh, it's cool, it's cool, Stomp, man. We still cool. I said, all right, bet. So I just rolled out. Then probably like a month later, I got the call from Love first. Lewis and Love called me. I was like, Joe, we trying.
Congo, well, percussion.
Yeah, Lord Love Congo played full Raw Image. He also played with actual Subtle Thoughts as well too. But he's known from Raw Image.
Raw Image, yeah.
Also, he's an amazing producer.
Yeah, Holy Boys and all that.
Yeah. So when Love called me, I was like, yeah, I said I'll talk to you, Tom Boss. So then Butler called me. I've been knowing Butler since I was like saying a little kid from, you know what I'm saying, around the South Side. So when Butler called, I'm like, because like to me, Butler is a legend in the hood. He's a legend in the hood. You know what I'm saying? He's the man. So when Butler called me, I'm like, but from my place, I'm Sice.
Right.
Like, yeah, the band, you know, they want to bring you in, you know, come play. I don't really know you, but the band just want to bring you in. It's how he told him the phone to me. Like, he didn't care if I came or not. He was like, yeah, the band wants you. I don't really know you like that, but, you know, I'm going to do what the band want. So they was practicing with me on Monday. I'm sorry, practicing with me on Tuesday, then practicing with Neil on Wednesday, because they still had Neil in the band. I didn't know this. So I go on the actual radio, because I want to put a stop for, like, say, another month. Okay. So I go on the radio with saying Big G when he was still up on Kiss.
Yep.
And we talking. So Big G was like, yeah, I heard you about to go join a band. You want to tell me? When we tell him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go join Raw Image, not knowing Neil listening. So that's how he found out that he's about to get fired. But I didn't know. I thought he was already gone. So the whole time they practicing with me silently, not telling Neil. So
wow,
kind of drew a little.
That seems to be somewhat of a recurring, and I feel bad because whenever I do these interviews, when I'm done, I almost forget everything that happened because I got so much other stuff going on, and I wish I had a better memory and could remember. But I know that somebody had a somewhat similar story, and I've heard this story multiple times throughout Gogo. I wonder why is it that we can't figure out the communication enough to be able to not do that to people, like to be able to like really just be honest with people, be like, yo, you're not cutting it. You know, we need to figure something out. But I also understand from the management perspective, it's like, yo, we got shows, like I can't afford to cut this guy before I got a new guy. And you know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything, I don't want to go too far into it, but is there anything you think we could do as a genre, as a collective, as a community to try to get better at that kind of stuff?
That's a hard one because you never know how stuff is going to fall.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that because, well, for me, you know, managing certain bands and running certain bands. So when I played up in the mixed band, Dwayne Nutt and Muhammad was the managers.
Yep.
But I had a big voice.
Yep.
And as time went on, 32 had a big voice.
Yeah.
So sometimes me and him are saying
neither one of y'all ever stop talking, so that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like sometimes me and him are like bump heads, but we'll figure it out. Like we never beef at no show. Like at practice, he may fuss at me, I may fuss at him. It may be some bull, but when we get to that show, we gonna kick your ass. That's just what it was.
Well, so that's a powerful lesson, I think. That's a powerful lesson, I think, for bands and anybody watching. Pay attention.
So we never
but don't bring that shit onto the stage.
Yeah. So like if Deuce, there was a lot of time Deuce was hot with me, but he'll never bring it to the same show.
Right.
He'll wait to practice and then he'll just let my ass have it in front of the whole goddamn band. You know how it used to go. Let me have it. But it's cool. It was cool though. You know what I'm saying? And like me and him was always the ones going at it a lot of times. So he was like, nah, stop, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, nah, Deuce, I think this is better. But let's say for the most part, I think we did good with the mix. We made a lot of noise.
Wait a minute, because you jumped ahead. So we didn't even we still was on Raw Image and then you jumped straight to the mix. So hold on. But real quick, in the middle, in the middle of that. So Chuck and Drew's on here. He said, so they do that to every guitar player, huh? So that's y'all did the same shit to him you did to me and made him audition at a show. But you already that don't count because you was already playing with rapper before.
Yeah,
so
I didn't even know Drew was saying coming. I didn't know until Robert was like, we all came to the show and was like, where Joe died? Oh yeah, he ain't here no more. I got Drew. I was like, oh, all right, bet. That's how I was. That's how I was. Nobody knew.
But it was at a show or it was at rehearsal? It was at a show or it was at rehearsal?
No, it was at a show.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Drew, yeah. But Drew, you ain't have it as bad as me, bro. Because I came from a whole nother fucking state and then just jumped on the stage with a button. You already knew all of them and all that. But
right.
Yeah, no, you're right. Drew said best big brothers anyone can have. 100%. 100%. So okay, so we are on Raw Image. Hey, Queenie. Keith Obey said he remembered when he had to take your motorcycle home in his U-Haul truck when you were playing for Familiar Faces. Okay, but I don't want to go too far because we didn't even get to Familiar Faces yet. We're still on Raw Image. So, okay, so Raw Image. Why did you stop playing for Raw Image?
Honestly, we couldn't. At that time, I was an asshole. I didn't care about nothing or nobody. I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't care about nothing or nobody. I would show up late. I wouldn't be on time. I'd do a no call, no show. Like I was just lunching. And I paid for it. And I paid for it because after that right there, I sat home for like a year.
So let me stop you for a second because this is really important. So this is something that happens quite a lot within our community, within our genre. A lot of people are late all the time. A lot of people do no call, no shows. So can you tell me at the time when that was your methodology, why was that? What was going through your head? What made you think that was okay at that time?
Because I was selling drugs and I didn't care about nothing but drugs. Like the band stuff was just something that I did. Me doing what I was doing in the streets wasn't really like the band stuff was cool, but I would rather be out making money. So I would do it if I ain't had nothing going on. I go and do that. So
gotcha.
You know, doing saying that period, I was lunching, and like it cost me a lot because I sat home for a year and nobody would call me. Nobody. Like even once I figured it out and I came back out, I was still lunching. And then when I learned about being on time, being there where you're supposed to be, Donnell Floyd playing in Familiar Faces. That's
okay.
What really.
So before we get there though, because you got let go from Raw Image, I assume.
Yeah.
An asshole. You sat down for a year, and then was Donnell Floyd and Familiar Faces the next thing that happened? Was that the next opportunity you had?
Yeah.
Or something else? Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Because if you've been sitting down for a year and you got a reputation in the streets of being a fuck off.
Well, Bojack made that call. Bojack had just got locked up. So Bojack, he's like, man, let's call Fat Larry, because Bojack called me Fat Larry. So he always called me since I was like a little St. kid. He been calling me Fat Larry. So Bo was like, man, call Fat Larry. So him and Charlie called me. And he said, look, Donnell going to say and call you. Our little drummer tripping. Matter of fact, Pooh was their drummer, which Neil and Pooh is their cousins. So now I'm about to do the same thing again, which I just did to Neil. I'm like, oh, this is about to be a headache. So I wound up filling in for Sam Pooh, and we cranking, we pushing. So Donnell was like, he said, yeah, you can have that this saying job if saying you saying want it. Playing like that, but I'm thinking he just playing and joking. He was serious.
Wait a minute. He playing like what? Did you come?
I was pushing. So,
but where was this? I mean, you might have said it
at 2K9. It was called Keely's back then.
Yep, Keely's Cafe. Yep, I remember.
So we were playing downstairs in the little small room.
Oh, okay.
Walk into the fan left.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we was playing in there, but say I was just feeling it at the time, and saying
you were feeling it for familiar faces though. That's the part I missed. You were
familiar faces. Yeah, okay. So I was this was like 05. This end of saying 05.
Yep.
And then I did that show, and I did Tacoma Station, and I did Safari Steakhouse. Mm-hmm. They were the shows they had at that time.
And you were filling in for Pooh because that was your cousin.
Yeah, Pooh was the drummer.
Jack had said call Fat Larry.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So I wound up filling in for him, and then me and Donnell got real close. I was riding show with Floyd, the early show with Donnell. We come pick me up from my house, take me to the show because I ain't had no saying car. So once I left Raw Image, my car broke down. Because matter of fact, when I joined Raw Image, my actual signing bonus was buying me a car and buying me a brand new drum set for the band. And he went out and bought me and Sin Love an Astro van wrapped up in Raw Image, which I got a lot of girls from driving that same van too.
All right, so you're filling in for Pooh, your cousin. You cut his throat.
No,
and
Pooh was Neil's cousin.
Huh?
No, Pooh was Neil's cousin. The one that was playing for San Norfolk.
Pooh was Neil's cousin. Oh,
yeah.
Basically, their whole family just wants to stab you. Is pretty much what's going on.
I mean, it was bad, man.
All right, so you filling in for Pooh. Donnell was like, you playing like that, you could still play. Now, was this at the time? Was this was the iteration of Familiar Faces with Doc and Halima and all that, or were they there yet?
No. So when I first joined the band, it was the front line was Michael Muse, Adia, and Donnell Floyd.
Yep, I remember that.
Congos was Mickey.
Yeah,
was me, Charlie, Godfather, BJ, Doc, and Dwayne. That was the band.
Gotcha.
Then when Donnell fired Adia, he brought in Halima. Right. Then he got rid of BJ. Then he brought in Lorenzo.
Yep.
And then White Boy seen us getting a little bit of steam, so he started booking more Red Acid shows, so Mickey couldn't play with us. So that's how Smoke got in the picture.
Got you. And which y'all and thank you very much, asshole, because Smoke was the first Congo player from Mambo Sauce, and he left Mambo Sauce to go play with y'all.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So when Donnell said, "All right, man, we got a little problem, Stomp," he said, "Man, I think that White Boy getting wind of what we're doing, so we were gonna have to find a Congo player. Who do you want to play with?"
And for anybody that doesn't know, I'm not the White Boy he's talking about. He's talking about White Boy from Rehearsal, who is incidentally not actually white. So just so you know,
I don't know why they call him that either, because he definitely ain't white.
I think he told me when he was on the show. I think he said it. I can't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch
the guitar and the rock and stuff. I think, but again, I literally almost forget every single thing that's on this show as soon as I'm done with it. So I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me. But anyway, go ahead. So Halima came in after Adia got 4-5. Now, as much as you can, and you don't have to get too far into detail about it, but why was Donnell letting people go? And the reason I want to bring that up is because you had talked earlier about you learning about being on time and being professional. What are these people getting fired because they were not being on time and professional, or what was?
Donnell got a certain. It's certain things that you just don't do when it comes to Donnell and how he runs stuff.
Right.
All right. He fired me twice. But I always got my job back. You know what I'm saying? So
I gotta stop you for 1 second because I stupidly just drank a whole cup of coffee and this whole thing of water, and I got to take a break for a second. But while we're doing that, I want you to promote. Okay, well, you do better than me, but you are a drummer, so you got to sit down the whole time. So, but I want you to tell people what's going on tomorrow night, what you guys are doing overall, and I will be right back.
Okay.
A minute.
All right, so tomorrow in Atlanta, Georgia, if you in the area, we got the 18 with Big G, Rapper, Steve Roy, Hub, Sweet Thing, Winksy, Joe the Show, Gogo Mickey, Smoke, Walking Chuck and Drew, Kirky, Keyboard Chris, Maestro, Kyrie. We all down here, man. Deuce 9 up on the board. My man Dirk bought the back line and the sound down, so we gonna give him that, you know what I'm saying, boom. GOGOTIX.co. You can go in there right now and buy tickets if you in the area. Also, I got 2 flights. I still got 2 flights available. If you want to come down to Amaru, I got 2 flights available. The flights are $230. If you buy both of them, I give you both of them for 200 bing bings. Holler at me, get with me. I can make it happen for you ASAP. But yeah, man, if y'all down here, man, come on. But if y'all already down here right now, tonight, you can meet us at Blue Flames tonight. If you already down here up in the area, you can meet us at Blue Flames tonight. So after I leave band practice, you can meet us at Blue Flames tonight. So other than saying that, man, yeah, man, everything good. Like I said, if y'all want to come down and you know what I'm saying, to hang out with us, you know what I'm saying, yeah, come on down. Come on down, man. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with us. Ain't nothing going on up at home. Ain't nothing going on at home. Come on and get down with us. Come on, get down with us, man. Get down with us.
All right, sorry about that. As we're talking about professionalism, that was very unprofessional of me. That's the first time that's ever happened. So I realized I was on a video call all the way up until this started, and this is actually my second big ass cup of water plus coffee that I drank. So you told him everything about tomorrow, right? New Year's Eve, and where you can get tickets and everything. Okay, so you can get tickets right at gogotix.co. Make it easy.
Yep.
All the information.
All that.
Just click on it. Okay, bet. Awesome. Good deal. So Tom Newman Project wants to know, what area are you in? I don't know if he's asking me or asking you, but right now you are in Atlanta. Which area of Atlanta are you in right now?
I'm in the College Park area.
You're in College Park. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm in Long Beach, California right now, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're here with the folks that got a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Long Beach save money.
Frank, my man Frank Bryan from Learning with Gogo said y'all playing at the Blue Flame tonight. Oh, fuck you, Dave. Dave said I need the pens.
What was up? Hey, Dave. My man Frank, yeah, man. I do a lot of work with him. If y'all don't know, man, the Gogo Hokey Pokey, I produced that junk. I played all the instruments on that song. I played all the
guitar.
I'm in the cartoon too. I'm the fat drummer with that chain on up in the cartoon with the braids and everything. Go check me out.
The fat drummer with the chain. That's literally, you should get T-shirts that just say the fat drummer with the chain. That's your shit. Okay, so we were on the topic of professionalism, and you were mentioning that there's certain things you just don't do with Donnell, and this kind of ties into, because I was having a long discussion with my great friend, the guy that I played in my very first Gogo band with, Mike Arnold, who's a keyboard player for been with Familiar Faces, Team Familiar, and every iteration Still Familiar that they've had for the longest time. And he was talking about how Donnell runs his band. So what are some of the things that you do not do with Donnell, and how do you think that plays into his
disrespect women? That's one thing he's not going to tolerate. Disrespecting women, making him look bad in like public places, like big. Because we had some real big events, and Donnell don't play like his image is everything. His image is everything. So he really like. He gave me, I don't say how much he gave me, but he gave me some money to go shopping. I was always coming to shows with like saying sweatsuits on and stuff. He was like, look, Stomp, I know what you wear. I get that. But for where I'm going, I need you to go shopping. So he gave me a bag of money. I went to Georgetown and You know what I'm saying? I got some jeans, some Coogee shirts, some little button up junk, got a couple of sweaters. You know what I'm saying? I had to really like go buy some clothes because he was like for where we was going at, playing a bit like saying the actual Zanzibar every saying Thursday. You know, I had to kind of like clean up. So Donnell really, you know what I'm saying? He really, I'm gonna say he taught me a lot. I learned that's how I'm able to be successful at running Northeast Groovers and the St. 18 because of the things that saying Donnell taught me and showed me. And
give us a few of them. What were a few of them?
How to make sure your band is always paid, no matter what happens, no matter what goes on. Make sure business is always straight. Mm-hmm. Even if you gotta take the loss, don't let your band leave without no money.
Mm-hmm. And is that in every case, or is that like so the band? I guess
we never had no sob stories. Never.
Right. Well, I don't mean a sob story. I mean, were there ever any occasions? Did you guys ever play like a charity event or like a community event or something?
Anything we did, we got paid.
Okay.
Outside free. We got paid.
Straight hired guy.
I don't know how he worked it out, but whenever we played, we got paid our regular number. It wasn't take no short number. Whenever we played, then every St. holiday, it was time and a half. Like it was just straight across the board. It was just business.
Right.
So I learned that from him, and then how to treat your band, how to be open with your band, how to talk to your band, how to communicate with your band. Those things that I learned from Sam Floyd.
Well, what would you say that is? Because I'm a person that struggles with that. Admittedly, I'm not a great communicator. You know what I'm saying? And so there's probably some other people on here who work with bands and could do better at that as well. So what was that advice? Like what specifically was that? How do you talk to your band? How do you communicate with the band?
So for me, being as though Kyrie is the owner of Northeast Groovers, everything I do go through Kyrie first. Right. And then Kyrie tell me how he want me to handle it.
Yep.
And then that's how I say handle it. And I make sure I relay to everybody. Or he'll say, "Nah, Stomp, we saying have practice. I'll address the band in a whole coming from me. Certain stuff, he'll address it. Because certain stuff need to come from Kyrie and not Stomp. Need to come from the owner. So he'll take lead on certain things. Or some he say, Stomp, just send everybody text out. So what I start doing now is I don't do the group chats anymore. The group text, I text everybody individually. I mean, it's a pain in the butt, but I know that you got it. If I text you individually, group chat, it was like I ain't get that group chat. So I stopped doing that because Hug was the main one. Man, I don't get them texts. So now I text everybody individually. Then if they don't respond, I call them.
Yeah,
and that's just how I just run.
Real quick, Queenie's asking about COVID restrictions in Atlanta before she buys a ticket. Yeah, Atlanta is wide open right now. Like there are no restrictions.
But you still got to have a mask though. The kind of
so you got to have a mask. So you got
to have a mask.
And I don't know. Yeah. If they're doing temperature. And
the spot is big, so it's like an open space. So it's not like you're gonna be on top of each other. It's an open space.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So we got my man Bootsy Vegas, Sally on here laughing at something. I'm not sure what he's laughing at, but he's laughing at something. So okay. So that's an interesting thing that you don't do the group text anymore. It is much easier to get the message out to everybody at one time. But as you just pointed out, not everybody checks them all the time. So at least if you're sending out a text individually and just copy and pasting to each person, that person got it, assuming they have an iPhone. If they have a shitty ass Android, you won't be able to get a red receipt to know if they got it. Right. So if you're watching and you have an Android, upgrade your life and get an iPhone so we can tell if you saw our message or not. Okay. What other lessons have you that was a joke, by the way. You didn't even laugh or anything, but what other lessons did you learn from Donnell about how to run a successful band?
Being honest, being honest, just letting everybody know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't really sugarcoat nothing. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Just letting everybody know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't treat your band different. And what I do is, and a lot of my guys will tell you this, you can't take me through a side door and tell my band I gotta go to the front door. Nah, they don't work for me. If I'm going through a side door, my band gotta come through the side door. If my band can't come to the side door, I'm going to the same door that my band could go to. Cause that's how you start that same decent vibe stuff. Same thing how I deal with the actual 18. Everybody tell me all the time, like, why you pay the 18 the way you do? They ain't you. Nah, they are me. Cause I can't make this band work without them. I can't do what I do without them. They are just as much important than me. So that's why I treat the 18 the way I do. Like, matter of fact, I'm going to take the whole 18 on a vacation to the actual DR next year for a whole year. It's already paid for. I paid for the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my band. I love what they have done for me. I love the way they always rally around me when I'm going through anything. My guys come through. They never question me about no money. They never second think anything I ask them to do. So I felt like it's time for me to show them that I appreciate what they do. I really appreciate it because of what they do for me. Like, they make me look good because I don't really mix. I mean, I could do a little rough mix. When it comes to mix something for the radio, that's not what I do. Pete and Dwayne, that's what they do. When it comes to doing big vocal edits, that's Dwayne is the man. When it comes to putting together harmonies and vocals, that's what Pete do. Pete he's a mean choir director. Like, he understands how to put them notes to make them sound like that big boy stuff. Like, that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? So everybody in the 18 plays a different role. Kirky, promotions, pushing something, advertising. That's what he do. Stomp don't do that. All Stomp know how to do is get the money. That's my job. So I'm gonna stay in my lane.
So I want to stop you for a second because you're talking about something really important, which is a team dynamic, which is a difficult thing to achieve. But I wanna get in because we started with this with Donnell Floyd, and so you were playing with familiar faces, and I want to finish the rest of the chronology. And so, what happened with familiar faces, and what was your next step? And
so with familiar faces, I'm sorry. So with familiar faces, me, Doc, Dwayne, Halima, Khalil, we all decided to leave and go start our own band.
Why?
Faces, you know. Honestly, it was a big misunderstanding.
Hey, Dave Cleveland said, "How can he join the A team?" He said, "That sounds great." and Ricky said, "Wow, everybody gonna want to play with the A team now." He said, "I want to play with the A team."
I mean, it was a big misunderstanding.
Okay.
After talking to everybody individually, if we knew what was going on at that time, because Donnell had like a he didn't care attitude. And we thought he was just curring us. But when we found out what was going on in his life, what he had around him, like that was bothering him, we never knew that. So I think if we would have knew that as a band, we would have never stopped or never broke up. It was a misunderstanding from all parties who didn't know what was going on with Donnell.
So a communication breakdown is.
I think that was just it was. See, when I'm not really going to talk about Donnell's personal business. But when you got certain things going on in your life with somebody that's very dear and close to you, like he was dealing with it a different way. But we as the band didn't know none of this stuff until after the fact. And then everybody sitting there, the whole band was like, oh man, we like really did him wrong. I was hurt. Everybody, Doc, Halima, Dwayne, we always hurt because we did not know what he was really going through. And Donnell is a good dude. He's a good dude. I don't care what nobody else got with him, but for Stomp and Donnell is a good dude. He took great care of Stomp. He made sure Stomp always ate. He made sure Stomp, like, I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing, Red. The funniest thing. So he had his book for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I never in my life knew what salmon was.
Salmon?
Yeah, salmon.
The fish?
Yeah, back then.
You never had salmon until
all I knew was chicken. I ain't know nothing about look, Reds. I don't eat no fish. I don't like fish. All right. Sorry, y'all. I apologize because I don't know. But look, so we about Hall of Fame, right? So they got all this fancy food and salmon and rice and this. I'm like, Donnell, man, where the real food at? He was like, Stomp, come in. So he said, look, Stomp, don't worry about it. When you get back to the hotel, wherever you want to eat, I'll pay for it. Just please don't make a scene. I said, all right, cool. So I sat down. I got me a little juice, sat down, drunk my little juice. So it was Chuck Brown, me and Faces, we played at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep, I remember.
So after that show went back, I called Domino's, ordered a piece of wings, 2 liters of soda, told Donnell the bill. I said, all right. So Donnell wanted to give me $40 to pay for my food and said, just saying, keep the change. I was like, bet. So I went back and had a piece of wings and the soda. Because I didn't eat salmon. But Dwayne, Doc, Halim, everybody there. I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, you don't even look done. Like, because I didn't know about salmon. I didn't know about salmon. You know what I'm saying? But I would say that, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. And I remember the band practice for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Donnell came in and said, Stomp and Godfather, I promise you, if you're not at that bus on time, I will leave your ass here. And Donnell don't only cuss at us. When he cussed, I said, oh, he's serious. I was there for anybody got there. So we get on the bus, we leaving, right? Who come running across 450 with a trash bag with his clothes in it and a keyboard in one arm, running across 450 behind the bus? Donnell was pissed. Younger. He told Godfather, go get on the bus with the fans. He didn't want to see him. Younger. Donnell was pissed. We was leaving, dog. All you see was Godfather running across 450. Running across 450 to catch the bus.
That is funny.
That shit was funny, dog.
So let me ask you a question, though, because you said that what you learned from Donnell was about how to run a band. One of the things you said was to communicate with the band. So, but then you said that the reason that y'all left was a sort of a failure of communication, which obviously was
for him.
Wait, but he was going through some personal things. So what I want to know is, how incumbent is it upon the band members to communicate to the leadership as much as it is the other way around?
Because I think you should always talk to your leader. I think you should always. That's your main source. That's where your main info come from. Without him, you don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm saying is this. I try to be as open as possible with my band, always. And I want them to do the same with me. Because Pete and Dwayne not Pete, but Dwayne cusses me out on a regular basis. Everything is my fault. Everything is my fault.
Yep. Well, it is. When you're the leader, everything.
Look, prime example, right? So we had to sing. We was doing the Broccoli Fest, okay? We're saying light show, but DC rapper, y'all know he's a DC rapper. Yep. So we was doing Broccoli Fest, one of the biggest shows, right? So I'm talking to the dude from saying Showtime, Reynolds, to get all our gear in order. So I said, all right, y'all, here is our rider. Everybody check your rider. Make sure it's right.
Stop you for 1 second. What you were doing is called an advance. Just so anybody watching knows that when you send over the rider, you communicate with the person about what's on the rider. It's called an advance. Just so you know.
So Dwayne, everybody gave me a thumbs up saying my gear is correct. So the next morning, they sent the car to my house to pick everybody up. Sent us our own personal car. We went down the jump, got our car, picked us up. We saying get to the show. Everybody stuff right. Dwayne had this little baby amp, young. Man, it's Stomp fault. Stomp did this. I know Stomp. I'm saying, whoa, you gave me thumbs up on the rider list. I sent what you sent.
Yeah.
So how's it my fault?
Yeah.
But it's still my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the funniest day. Like when I say Ant, I got a picture too, Reds. The Ant was big. Like everybody, like Pete had all these keyboards. Keyboard Chris had all these keyboards. Ron had stacks of cabinets. He had a mood in front of him. His switch for his bass. Man, I had my drums up on the riser, all these cymbals and side snares and pads and
Dwayne had a practice amp.
Dwayne had a little. The Ant was probably this and big, Reds. Like the amp was baby. So he said, look, man, we got some more amps. Here's the amps we got. It told Dwayne all the other guy. So they said they wound up rolling him out a bigger amp. Mm-hmm. He was pissed, Reds. But always double check your rider. When somebody send you a rider, the key is don't just give them a thumbs up. Look over it in detail, because once you're there, it was sent other bands on a car that had other gear. So that if they were to pull something, to let us saying you for that time. So sometimes you may not get that lucky. It may only be y'all up on the car. So always when somebody sends you a rider, make sure you double check your gear to make sure everything you got on there is on there. So you won't run into this problem that San Dwayne had with this little baby, my first amplifier.
All right. So what happened after Familiar Faces? What did you do when y'all left? When y'all so what was it? It was Familiar Faces. Faces, that's right. And then so you were with them for a little while, and then what happened there?
I just stopped, man. I was just tired.
Stop playing. Period. You stopped playing. Period.
I mean, I was doing stuff here, there, and there. I just didn't want to do the every week thing no more. I was just burnt out, really. So I kind of stopped for like a little bit. Then I think after Faces, I was just doing like little stuff with this band, that band, with like Vibe and little hit miss stuff. Listen, and I was just doing little sidebar stuff. I wasn't really doing nothing permanent. Right. Then after that, I joined the mix band. And
how did that come about?
I was just going to go fill in. My man, the Hall of Fame Dink called me and was like, "Hey, Dwayne, I'm looking for a drummer. I told him call you." I said, "All right, cool." So Dwayne wound up calling me. I wound up filling in for him up at the LaFontaine Blue. Now there they called me to do the meat place. Then Dwayne was like, "I mean, who you playing with now?" I was like, "Nobody." He's like, "You want to play?" Because Jeff not going to play. He said he's not playing no more because Jeff had quit.
Jam and Jeff.
Yeah, so Jam and Jeff had, I guess, gave him a whole list of stuff he need, a rider and stuff, and they weren't trying to meet the rider. So then Jeff just like walked away.
Gotcha. So, okay. And then who was in the band when you joined the mix?
Stan was on congos. A dude named Sam was playing guitar. Showtime, Tyreek, Keith. The girl on the front name was Nikki. They had the horns. Ike, Tony, and what's his name? The other trumpet player. I forgot his name. And Brandon was the keyboard player, and Mike Bell, and they had Bink playing the bass.
Brandon from Annapolis, Brandon?
No, Brandon was from he from Maryland. He played with like Genuine and all them from back in the day. Boys the Man. Yeah.
Just so you know, Annapolis is in Maryland, though, just so you know. But it's all
he didn't play. Brandon didn't never live in. I know who you're talking about, but it's not that.
I got you. All right, cool. All right. And then eventually 32 came to the band, and Dwayne was in the band too, wasn't he? Because I played with y'all once over Eastern Shore.
Well, how Dwayne got in the band was so Dwayne got in the band because we had a lead player named Stan, and Stan had left to go to actual law school.
Is that the stand that was playing with
Wale.
Black?
He's playing with Wale lead player. Yeah. So when Stan left saying go to school, first we had brought in Drew. Y'all old Drew. Then he started loving it.
Marlos
so I got
Drew,
right. I had brought in Dwayne.
Gotcha.
Then I couldn't find a lock with saying Stan, so that's how we wound up getting saying Smoke to come in the band. Then matter of fact, so 32 was just at the upscale ballroom, and he wound up getting up there with us. I was like, and when he did that, it went to a different level. I'm like, that's what I'm missing. I gotta turn that corner. Because see, Deuce had that, you know what I'm saying, turn that corner for me. So that was Deuce, he was that turn the corner. Then I can use him early as well too. He can kind of do his thing early as well. So Deuce brought a different atmosphere.
Right. Yeah. Because it was more like straight grown and sexy at first, right? And then Deuce brought
so he kind of brought, because I just needed to be able to, turn that corner, because a lot of them bands only had like 2 gears. So like they would burn out the clutch. You know what I'm saying? I needed 6 gears. So I needed to be able to turn. Like I had the good singing, I had the good R&B, I had the crank, I had this, I had that, but I couldn't turn that corner all the way. So that's what Deuce bought. He bought that saying turn the corner for me. So it was a good move. Then I had bought in Chris. I needed more like saying Gogo flavor that other edge.
Yeah, 808 flaps and all that shit.
Yeah. So it was just So it was a good atmosphere. It was a good atmosphere.
And so what ended up happening with the mix?
I left to go back to Northeast Groovers. In fact, me and Smoke left to go back to Northeast Groovers.
And that was what, 2009?
Yeah, 2009, 2010. Yeah. That was right after Robert's birthday party up at Ibiza. That was right after that.
That was Robert's birthday party was after. Robert's birthday party was 2011 or something, it was later than that, because I was at the casino when we did that.
But I was in the mix band.
What?
When he had that party, I was still up in the mix band. I haven't left the mix band. I left the mix band to go back to Northeast Groovers after that.
We recorded a song called 2000.
Oh, we talking about yeah. So I didn't go to the mix band until 2011.
Well,
after all that, I had stopped playing with y'all. I think Big Youngin has started playing.
That must have been after me, because I came in back in, I think in 2009. You were there. We were playing at Marigold's. We played at La Pearl for a bit. We played and I managed for a little bit. We were playing, and we started playing Club Elite. And we started playing at the backyard.
I was there then.
And then after we played that show in Calvert County or Charles County, where they beat that security guard to death right in front of us, where certain people on the front line were making jokes about it as the dude is bleeding out on the floor, I was like, that's too much for me. I'm out. You said 2000. Ibiza was 2013. Yeah, you got your timeline off, buddy. You getting old.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, because I was working at the casino at Ibiza, and I didn't start there until 2012. So, but also I need to since we were talking about you getting blamed for everything, Dave Cleveland and Boosie Vegas agreed, and I agreed too, that you're the one that started the whole free agent thing in Gogo. So basically, the demise of great Gogo bands is all your fault.
I just don't like. I'm not gonna hang around for the bullshit. I put it that way. I'm not gonna hang around like when I feel stuff is going left or Greg goes somewhere else. It's best for me to just leave.
Yeah, I feel you, but we're still gonna blame it on you. It's still your fault.
Always, it's always my fault. I'm cool with that.
All right, so you So, but you were playing with the mixed band before. I'm trying to remember now.
I got in the mixed band 2010.
Okay, well then, so then we skipped over to. So what? So you were in Familiar Faces. When did you stop playing with Familiar Faces or Faces You Know?
2008.
I'm sorry. And then when Northeast started back up again in 2009.
I wasn't doing nothing when they started back up at 9.
Okay, so you had already stopped playing with. So why did you leave Faces You Know?
I just needed a break. I just needed a break.
That's right. You did say that. You were tired. Yeah. Okay, you were tired. You were turning old. Your knees hurt and shit. Okay, so then 2009 Northeast Groovers. We did that for like 2 years or whatever, and then I left, and then I still kept going for a little while, and then that's when you joined the mix, and then I remember you asked me you wanted me to come play. First of all, let me clear something up, and I think I told you this. You asked me to play for the mix, and I gave you an outlandish number that I needed to play, and it wasn't because I think I'm some like the best guitar player. It was because I literally did not want to. I had not wanted to play guitar since I was in the What Band in 2005. I didn't want to play a Mambo Sauce. I was the manager, the creator, the record label, the producer. I wasn't ever trying to be the guitar player. So just so you know, if you didn't ever know that, I didn't quote you that crazy ass price because that's what I really think I'm worth as a guitar player. I just quoted you that price because I didn't want to do it. And so not because of y'all, but just because I just didn't want to play in the band at all anymore. And so if I was going to do it and come out of the house, that's what would have made it worth it to me. But it wasn't no like, oh, I think I'm so good that I deserve all of this money. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. So okay, so the mix, you got it in 2010, and then when did that end, and why did that end?
Oh, so when I left the mix, I went to Northeast. I went back to Northeast.
So that was
Raw had to go to the band. Yeah, that's when Raw had to go to the band.
2013. I got you. Okay, got you. Why did you leave the mix to go back to Northeast Groovers?
Because I wanted to be back with Northeast at that moment. I thought Northeast was a better situation for me.
Why? As much as you can say, why? I'm just trying to get into people's brain and let people know why people make the decision.
I thought the grass was a lot greener on the other side, and it wasn't. Because the money I was making with the mixed band, I mean, you know what I was making. You know what I was making.
Yep.
My with the mixed band was like sick.
Yep.
Sick. I'm not gonna say how my contract was set up, but the money I was making per week guaranteed. And I didn't think that they was gonna sign it, but they really signed it.
Right.
And they stuck by and they made sure. But we had so many shows that I think twice was when they only had to pay out what I didn't do. Twice out of that whole spell that I was because we had so many shows, so it didn't really matter. Mm-hmm. But I just made sure whatever happened covering myself, I was good.
Right. Well, so okay. So you said you thought the grass was going to be greener on the other side. My estimation, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that based upon the crazy ass turnout that we had at Ibiza, you thought that shit was going to be on and popping again with Northeast, like in a bigger way than the mix. So what I'm trying to get at is, I think that what is the grass is greener? Are we just talking about money, or are we talking about?
Now, I just thought that things would have been better if I went back to Northeast for me.
Right. But I'm saying why? Like in what way? Just more money, or you like the music better, or what was it about it that you thought was going to be better?
Just being back home. Like my first love of Zangogo, of authentic Gogo. Like, because I just got tired of people saying, man, Northeast. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go give it a shot and see what happens.
And so why wasn't the grass greener?
It was just not good. It wasn't good for me. You know what I'm saying? I should have stayed where I was, to be honest with you. I think I should just stay where I was. I think the mix had a lot more in the tank. But I thought that it was going to be like Northeast was before. I didn't know it was going to be like work. We had to get back in the game and grind, and you know what I'm saying. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought it was something different. I thought it was going to be something different. You know
did somebody lead you to believe that, or you just assumed?
I thought that we can just come back and just take back over how we did back in the 90s, but it didn't. It just didn't work that way. It didn't.
So if I'm reading into this, so in 2009, 2010, obviously that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? We were grinding it out like shit, playing for way less money than we used to play for. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have the crowd. So the only thing that was different between 2009, 2010, and 2013 was Rapper came back. So you thought that because Rapper came back, that it was going to be.
I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong. It was. We had some people in there. It was back, but it wasn't what I thought of being back was.
Right.
I'll put it that way. My perception of being back different from somebody else's. So I'm thinking we was gonna be doing like saying you know what I'm saying, what band numbers. That's what I'm looking for. Doing what band numbers, but it just didn't happen that way.
So, but wasn't part of that, and my memory's a little murky because I was at the casino working like 80 hours a week at the time, but wasn't there a conscious decision during that time to not play every week, to only do spot dates, at least at one point?
Yeah, that's how it started, but it's ended.
But I guess what I'm asking is, do you feel like choosing to only do spot dates like hindered getting back to where you thought it should have been? Like if y'all just came back and said, let's just do weekly right away, then you would have been able to build up faster. But because you did spot dates, it didn't build up as fast. And then by the time y'all decided to switch to weekly, the snowball part didn't happen, right? So now you're back to spot dates again.
Somewhere else. It just went somewhere else, man. It just went somewhere else that I think that, you know, it shouldn't have went. You know what I'm saying? I'll just put it that way. It went somewhere that I think that's saying it shouldn't have went.
And by this, you're talking about the personal issues that happened between some of the members at that point.
Yeah, something, you know, I mean, it's life. Everybody go through stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's in life. Everybody go through stuff. And I think that, you know, I just had to I mean, I made a lot of crazy decisions acting off of pulse instead of sitting down really thinking about it, processing it. And I think we all do that at times in our life or our careers. We make decisions, not like, okay, so if I do this, what's going to be the benefit of this? How this will happen? What will happen? Like we don't think like that. I do now. That's why I don't move for everybody who's in call me. I don't play for everybody who called me because I gotta think like, is it really that important? A lot of times I'd rather go tow cars than playing because I make way more money towing cars. Like I can, the money I make towing cars is ridiculous. You know, and like, so I'd rather do that. Me being at saying work, you know, on my regular day job, I make good, you know, a good piece of change.
So let me ask you a question, because you have two jobs plus you run the 18, plus you do the day-to-day for Northeast Groovers, and you're the drummer for Northeast Groovers. Is there so I want to roll this in sort of back into the Donnell Floyd thing, because I feel like it just from me being in Gogo for so long, and then also working with artists from other genres of music, you know what I'm saying, that have a very different approach. Like when you're describing to me the reason that you felt Donnell ran his band well, it's basically like I got paid every time, and everybody got paid every time to do anything, no matter what.
Yeah.
But Donnell Floyd's been working for Verizon for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And you're saying that, you make sure that the A team is paid and that the band is paid and you learn that, but you tow cars and you work for the government during the week. So my question is, is there a scenario that you see for a go-go band where the situation can be run in the same way and where people are getting paid all the time, but the people involved don't also have to have day jobs to be able to make that happen?
How I look at it is this: playing in the band for me is a hobby. It's not my career. I do it because I love it. I do it because I sound like it. Mm-hmm. But I don't curry my guys because I know this how some of them eat. It's how some of them pay their bills. So I never be selfish. That's why people always ask me, Stomp, man, you had COVID for like 3 months, dog. You was sick for 3 months. Why are you back playing? I'm like, because I couldn't be selfish to my guys that depend on Stomp to make something happen. Mm-hmm. Like, some people do music for a career, not a hobby. So I can't look down on somebody who need this band money or go money as they should do whatever they do. Because I don't know their some life struggles. I don't know what they're going through. So all I try to do is just make a way for my band to always eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing about me and saying Kirky, when we sit and do our payroll together, it may be $100 left. I take 50, he take 50. Put some saying gas and alcohol. Because me and him both got good saying jobs. Not saying that I'm trying to belittle somebody, make somebody feel like they less than me. Because I feel like all my 18 guys, whether they work or they work or they don't work, I feel like we are all equal. That's how I feel. Right. That's how I feel.
Well, I think you might be misunderstanding my question. What I'm saying is, do you see a scenario where, I mean, and I guess you say that you just do it for a hobby. So, but I mean, I feel like at least a large percentage of musicians wish that they didn't have to work a job. They wish they could just play music for a living and they don't have to do anything else. And there are plenty of people in the world that do just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play music for a living, but I book music for a living with my own company. I don't have a job. I don't work for anybody else. I don't work for anybody else in 4 years, 5 years, more than 5 years. So, no, I guess it's been about 5 years. So I'm asking, is there a scenario where you feel like, based upon the money that you know is available and how Gogo currently operates, that everybody in the A team, including yourself, could get paid the amount of money that y'all are getting paid, or that you're paying them, and not have to have a day job and be able to live off of it? You see what I'm saying? What I'm getting at is that there's a cap in Gogo, right?
Well, let me try this. Let me stop you there.
No, go ahead.
Everybody, well, see, 1, 2, 3. So 4 people up in the 18 have. So one person in the 18 house is paid for. So they don't have a mortgage on their house. The house is paid for. Mm-hmm. I got another guy in the 18. He owns his house too. Okay. I got another guy. He's buying this house. Okay. I got a couple of guys who don't own houses. Cool. So everybody in the 18 per se.
Keep going. I just need to turn the light on. Okay.
Do work. They do work, and they have other sources of income. So they don't totally count. But I do have a couple of them that count on the 18 to play, to make money, to actually survive. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I make sure I throw work that way. Like, if it's mixing, studio work, I still try to keep the 18 working. Like, I mean, we have done so much studio work since this pandemic, and that's how I keep the money flowing for everybody, because I know how to create jobs. I know how to create money. So that's what I'm supposed to do. If you are a leader or whatever, you're supposed to create the money, create it. Even with saying Northeast Groovers, I know certain guys struggle. So I make sure that whatever I do is in the best interest of Northeast Groovers. Because I don't treat nobody different. I treat anybody else. Everybody in Northeast, they say have a certain number that they say, Stomp, I don't want to be under this number. If it's under this number, I'd rather not play. Cool, that's fine. So when I'm going to deal my numbers, I know where I gotta be to make sure everybody's happy. And what I've learned over the years is if you pay your band, you can live to see another show. Because I've been in bands where the band don't get paid, the band is over. And you have been there too with us. You know what I'm saying, talking about. So if I say I just make sure that I just ride a different way. I just move a different way because I don't want nobody to ever feel like they were slighted or done wrong.
Right. So, but the question I'm asking is, if nobody, say, take the A-Team or Northeast Groovers, if nobody had a job, right, and this was the only way they could make money, I guess what I'm asking is, do you feel like, based upon where Gogo is now, well, not now, pre-COVID, you know what I'm saying, that it is possible for an entire band of 10, whatever, 12 people to make enough money to live off of doing nothing but playing Gogo in local clubs?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
So now,
I can name a whole lot of them who saying do it and do it well.
No, a whole band that makes all of their money off of Gogo?
No, it's never a whole band. Cause I'd be shocked, like Mike from Sam Backyard. He's a TSA agent. I never knew that. Who knew that? Look, I'm in the airport like, I'm like, wow, I never knew that. So I be seeing people in like even little Benny. I never knew Benny worked. I was way uptown one day in Silver Spring. I was like the borderline of Silver Spring, uptown, Georgia Avenue. I was up there installing some trash cans. What's up, Stomp Dogg? I said, Benny, wow. And he was in the work truck. I'm like, wow, I never knew that.
That's my point. So that's what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking down in any way, shape, or form on anyone that works. I had to fucking work most of the time. I was in Gogo too, and it wasn't nothing negative about it. But what I'm saying is that I know a lot. I know there are a decent amount of people that make a full-time living in music that don't have to work, but the way that Gogo is set up, it seems like I don't feel like, based upon the math of the size of venues you're playing, the amount that the tickets cost, the amount that the bands want to be paid versus how much the tickets cost and multiplied times the amount of people that actually fit in a venue, there is almost zero scenario where multiple bands with 10 to 12, 14 people in them can all
But it's not a whole band. I don't think it's no whole band, but it's some members. I mean, I guess it's all in how you live. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have as many bills as me or you. You know what I'm saying? So they can live that way because they may have like a house that's paid for where all they paying is water, electric, and gas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like a cable bill. That's some short stuff. But those who got houses, like I said, prime example, and I'm not going to really talk about Sam Man business because it's not do that. But one of my band members who played in the band, he was like, man, I just take this money, Stomp, man. I put it inside a jar. I'm about to buy me a boat. So everybody got different objectives for their money. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him to say, yeah, and that's how I feel like that's super dope. You put it in the jar, hold it, and I'm gonna use this towards buying me a boat. You know what I'm saying? But that person do have other streams of income. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the band, it's other streams. Even with saying Pete has a actual studio. Pete get big royalty checks from doing church stuff. Pete has been on some of the biggest church albums around here. So he can afford to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? So most of the guys I'm around got different sources of income. So like the band money.
Go back to Pete. Go back to Pete real quick. So one of his sources of income is royalties from being on albums. You talked about Blue Eye earlier, right?
Right.
So my thing is, if there's not enough money generated from the business of playing go-go in clubs in order for people to make a full-time living off of that, then they need to generate other streams of income. If they want the other streams of income to be from music, then those things need to be like what you're saying, like royalties from albums. But Gogo doesn't really record albums like that because they don't have the money to record the albums because they paid all the money out to the band members.
Reds, it don't this in Reds. This time, day and age, you don't need that kind of money anymore to make an album.
Where?
You don't need it. Like I can do a whole album at my house if I really wanted to. Like, I can do that at my house and still have the same quality as the regular studio because I got the right mics. I got the right pad on the walls now. So I got.
But there's also way more to it than just recording an album. Like,
it's not
if we're talking about like success enough that you really can live off this and live well off of this. Our national radio campaign starts at $100,000 for one song. Go ahead.
One of Pete's biggest songs he done in his basement with a national artist. If you see Pete Basement, you be like this. That came out of here? What in the? Because it's not about where you recorded at. It's about who you got recording it. Do they know how to record to get the best out of instruments? And who's mixing it? Because I just seen Steve take some stuff from San Rio. I'm like, how in the hell he get that from Rio? God damn. But it's all in who, like Steve is a bad mamma jamma up on that board.
That's why
I was saying Boss Man, Gucci Man, all them.
Yep, I remember it. Yep.
But Steve, I'm like, how in the hell did Steve? But he said it was.
Do you have that record? Because I was trying to find it the other day and I couldn't.
It's on SoundCloud.
It's on SoundCloud. It's not anywhere else. Okay, I was trying to find it on YouTube.
Yeah,
man. Well, listen, but going back to the Pete example, and this is important. You said he recorded a song with a national artist. The national artist is the one who is taking the time to build the brand and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and so there's way more that goes into it than just recording and playing music. That, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of that shit costs money,
But look, I really hate to cut you off, but I have to run. I'm supposed to be in that practice at 7:00.
No, that's all right. That's good.
So maybe y'all, we can come back and do us in part 2 and pick up back right here. So if y'all want me to come back, just let Rez know. I'll make the time and I will come back and do part 2.
Don't try to get a fucking part 2. Don't try to.
No, I'm just saying. If they still want to go, because look, we got a lot more to cover. So if they want me to come back and do a part 2, I'll come back and do a part 2, y'all. But
I already got people cussing me out because they ain't been on here yet. You try and come back again. But no, we're gonna do it.
I can wait.
I'm totally fucking with you, Stomp.
I'll wait my turn.
Listen,
I was very patient.
I really want to thank you for being the last show of 2020. I want to make sure that everybody that's watching that can get to Atlanta tomorrow, make sure you go check out the A-Team featuring every fucking go-go celebrity that you can put on a flyer. They will all be there. So make sure you can get your tickets very easily at GOGOTIX.co. There's also a phone number on there that you can call for VIP. Are there still VIP tables left, or are they all gone?
It's like one table left.
Okay.
And I'm not sure because that might be gone too.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So there's a phone number that's on the flyer and on the website, or if you just want to get general admission tickets, you can go to GOGOTIX.co and get that. Also, if you're in a band and you want a flyer that doesn't look like somebody threw up on a computer screen, and to be able to link your tickets directly, then you just go to GOGOTIX.co/promote. And Stomp can tell you, I just sent him the numbers of all the people that clicked on the ticket link for that today, and he can attest to you that it works. You know what I mean? So let's move into 2021 with a little bit better level of sophistication than we left 2020 with. And so Thank you again. What was it? Crooked Leg Larry? Because now I need another.
Crooked Foot.
Crooked foot. Crooked Foot Larry. There you go. So we got Left Foot Larry,
Crooked Foot
Larry, Fat Larry, which is what I call you all the time, Larry Belafonte, Stomp Dogg, and Mr. Leave It In.
And my new name, when it said I'm down Atlanta, I'm called Areola Larry.
Ariel Larry?
Areola Larry.
Oh my God.
Areola Larry.
On that note,
y'all, I'll be in Blue Thursday night looking at all the areolas tonight, baby.
Stomp will be at the strip club after band practice tonight, and then go make sure you check that show out tomorrow. All right, Stomp, hit me when you get back, and let's figure out the rest of this recording stuff. I appreciate you, man. I love you. Have a great show. Tell everybody I said what's up, and much love to everybody, and thanks again. I appreciate you.
Y'all.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right. Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate you tuning in today. Always a pleasure. Make sure you hit gogotix.co. It's always do it the wrong way. Hit gogotix.co. Once the shows start coming back on a more frequent basis, you can find all the shows there. Right now, of course, we have the listing up for tomorrow. Also started a blog on there, so like there's new matter of fact, I got a post going up tomorrow with new impressions, new album. I try to put out everything on there that impacts Gogo, but on a more national scale, and has a more can have a more national push, and to make us look better when it comes to people that may not be from the culture that are looking in and paying attention to us. So that's the idea of gogotix.co. If you don't already have one, go ahead and get your Gogo as Fuck t-shirt. That's at gogotix.co/shop. Excuse me. Basically, you can get to everything from that, and then from the website. And also, please, if you have not already, subscribe and click the bell icon below. That will allow give you a notification when the new shows are coming up. And you can set a reminder, like for example, if you go and you see one that's scheduled to happen next week, we got my man T-Bone, legendary percussionist from Trouble Funk, and then I think the week after that we got my man Tony T from TCB and now Rare Essence as well. So that should be really great. If you feel so inclined to help out and donate, that would be appreciated. I do have to pay for this service that puts this fancy stuff on your screen, and I'm not really like monetizing this any other way. So if you feel so inclined, drop something on the Cash App. It's appreciated. If not, no problem at all. And we're gonna keep it going no matter what. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all of the great questions. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get to everybody. It's kind of hard to keep doing everything all at one time. I don't have a full-time producer, but shout out to my part-time producer, Tracy, for always making everything smooth for me. And thank you guys very much. We'll see you next week, and have a great one. All right. Appreciate you guys.